Good morrow, everyone. Alyssa Knight here. Yes, I know. It's been a minute. I have an explanation. I promise. I've not disappeared or died. It's just been really busy.
Yeah. Hey. Hey. I know it's anything but look. It's anything but
diamond in the rough, yeah, we had it tough, yeah, we had the pressure and the pressure done its stuff. Oh, I'm not flexing when I'm brushing off the dust, no. All this pain and the tears made my shoulders rust. In this life, gotta do what you must, build your value up, gotta earn trust, avoid fuss.
Alright, first, I owe all of you an apology. Every week since really my last video last year, I've kept telling myself, this is gonna be the week. This is gonna be the week I'm gonna make a new video. I'm gonna update everyone on what's been going on and the reason for the absence, and it just every week kept turning into next week and next week. So first and foremost, we have greenlit 3 TV series for 2025. Not films, TV series. For those of you who haven't done the math, a full season of TV shows at 1 hour per episode is 5 feature-length films. So it's been really busy, to say the least. 3 new TV series, season 1 of each series, and also a feature film. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you've probably been seeing my posts regarding Travis Payne's documentary that we're filming on his life. Travis Payne was the choreographer for Michael Jackson, as well as Janet Jackson, Lady Gaga, Paula Abdul, Usher, for a number of A-list artists. And so he has brought Mel and I in to produce his documentary. So this is a multi-city project. We just got back from Tokyo and we're in a little bit of a pause right now in between filming. So that's the unique nature of documentaries for those of you who don't film documentaries. Documentaries are different from scripted narrative in the fact that you typically in scripted narrative have contiguous filming. There's usually no pause or breaks between them. And so with documentaries, there's breaks. That's why bonding companies typically don't issue completion bonds for documentaries, because there's these breaks, if you will, in between filming. So that's the unique nature of documentaries. However, outside of that documentary, like I said, we've also greenlit 3 new TV series for this year. And so I'll talk a little bit about that, as well as some of the other things that have happened, which has pulled me away from YouTube. As many of you know, I'm a director and producer at Night Studios, as well as Melissa, my wife. And so there will be times where we are on set, or we have a lot of meetings. We also own 7 companies. So I'm gonna talk about that as well, because that's introduced some complexities as well to my schedule. So in addition to greenlighting these new projects, we also have a game development studio. And the name of that company is Night Vision Interactive. Some of you may remember we did a new game launch in San Francisco with MasterCard last year. And we are now actually investing into a brand new franchise at Night Vision Interactive for a new video game. And we're looking at a budget of about $5 million for that game. So we're slowly but surely climbing up there to AAA gaming budgets, one project at a time. The other thing that's been happening is we're also in the middle of selling one of our 7 companies. So I don't want to go too much into that yet, because a press release will be coming out. So I can't speak too much about that, but I will say that we are in the process of selling one of our companies in our portfolio. Now, Night Group, which is the holding company that Mel and I own, is a venture studio. A venture studio, unlike other investment funds like venture capital, angel investors, or hedge funds, private equity funds, is we don't invest in other people's startups. We invest in our own companies. So we take the money from Night Group, and instead of deploying it and investing it in other startups, we use that money to build up a portfolio of our own companies that we own and operate. So within Night Group, we have Night Studios, which is the TV and movie production company. We have Night Vision Interactive, which is the game studio. We have Night Publishing, which is the book publishing company. We have Night Events, which is our event management company. And we also have Briar & Thorn, which is our managed security service provider that monitors customer networks. And that is an international company. As a matter of fact, a majority of our employees, of 40 plus employees at Night Group, are actually outside the United States. So we do quite a bit of international work through our companies. So out of all of the companies that we run, we do have to split our time across different ventures. So one day we may be all in and focusing on our tasks with Night Studios, but the next day we may switch gears and focus on Night Vision Interactive or another company. We also have Night Coffee. For those of you who are interested, we launched our first coffee roast 2 years ago. And now we are moving to single origin and actually have a coffee farm in Quito where we are using those single origin beans to create our new roast. Our new roast is going to be called Tinseltown, which is going to be themed, of course, for Hollywood. So we're super excited about that. In addition to everything else that's going on at our venture studio with our numerous companies, I would say that if you were to ask me where do we spend most of our time across our companies, it would definitely be Night Studios. So in addition to the 7 companies that we run, we also have to focus our time on the YouTube channel. And it's really important for me to convey to all of you that we do place a lot of emphasis and a lot of importance in this channel. I don't want you to think that we don't care about it. It's just, of course, anything dealing with revenue, profit and loss, our attention needs to be there first. And then with our YouTube channel being secondary to that. So again, this community that we're building here and me being able to help all of you with capacity building around color grading, editing, being a narrative film director, being a producer, all of those things are very important to me personally as someone who appreciates and enjoys teaching. Hopefully that has resonated in all of our historical videos, and we definitely are aiming to reach 100,000 subscribers this year. So it's really important that I get back to producing and uploading new videos, and I want to stick to that Sunday release cadence every week of uploading a new video for Sunday morning release. So for those of you who haven't Googled me or looked into who I am, I've started and sold multiple companies. This will be my 3rd company that I've sold. So I have both sell side and also buy side M&A experience, or mergers and acquisitions experience, in selling and buying companies. Prior to me falling into Hollywood, I was a serial entrepreneur in cybersecurity. I was arrested for hacking into a government network when I was 17 and went to go work for the US intelligence community in cyber warfare. And shortly thereafter started and sold my first company when I was 17, and I sold it to a public company when I was 20. Then sold my second successful startup when I was 27. I'm 46 now, I just turned 46 on January 31st. And so now I'm exiting on my 3rd company. So that's definitely a passion of mine, building and selling off companies so they can pivot off of much larger platforms by their new owners. And the company that we're selling now is no different. So the point to me telling you this is Mel and I do take our family office money, the money that we have as part of our net worth, and invest that as angel investors. And so we've recently got involved in Startup Envy. Don't think that we have the time that we thought we had to commit to this year's fund, but we are definitely getting involved in the local angel investment community here in Las Vegas. So that's definitely been eating up some of our time as well. I want to talk a little bit about one of the titles that I'm particularly excited about on our slate this year. Like I mentioned, we are moving forward with producing 3 new TV series this year. And one of the series is called The Last Prophet, which is a modern day biblical drama involving the 4 horsemen. So I'm super excited. I can't talk too much about it, but it's an exciting project because it's our first time where we're moving away from sort of cyber genre entertainment. I don't want you to think that this is a new direction for our studio. We still obviously are going to continue to produce cyber genre entertainment within procedural crime dramas, but I do want to explore the other subgenres of procedural crime dramas and just procedural dramas in general to other genres outside of just cybersecurity and hacking. It's going to be interesting. It's an opportunity for us to really develop ourselves in other areas outside of cyber. And I think it's going to be very successful. I'm excited about it, and so are our investors. Speaking of which, we've also aligned with 3 separate film investment funds. So 2 of the most challenging things that production companies, that filmmakers really struggle with is 2 things: financing and distribution. And I'm excited to say that we've really done a good job at developing relationships outside of our studio, particularly with folks who can align us with and make introductions to investors and distribution. So we're looking at several first look deals as well as film financing through those relationships. And it's really allowed us to enter this sort of hockey stick growth rate that we're experiencing right now. So I'm really excited about it, and as well as the new relationships that we've developed with the people that we're going to be working with moving forward into this year. The other thing that we have been heads down on is the design and launch of our new websites. So if you haven't yet checked it out, check out nightstudios.co as well as nightgroup.co. We also own the nightstudios.com domain, so that will also take you there, but we've traditionally, because all of our domains have been .co, we tend to try and just stick to those. But if you want, take a look at it. We're super excited about the launch as well as the launch of our new brand. We've done a lot of work in making sure that all of our social media properties, all of even our email signatures contain this new brand. So check it out. Let us know what you think about it in the comments. Okay, this is gonna probably weird some of you out, and I do actually owe all of you a new desk tour and a new office tour, because as you can see, I did paint all the walls in here. If you remember, they were like a dark bluish gray, and we actually painted the ceilings black, and it was too much. It was too much. I know it's conducive to a color suite, but we ended up going with a light gray in here. Before, it felt like I was walking into a coffin every time I was in. It was just really dark and too moody, and it really didn't make spending time in here very pleasant. So it's definitely bringing in the plants and just lightening up the walls. It's definitely made a change on the vibe in here, and so hopefully all of you like it as well. But yeah, so I do owe you a new desk tour, but here's the interesting thing that I haven't told all of you yet. I built a Windows machine. Okay, so let me qualify that. Before walking onto the set of Shadow Unit, we decided that we were going to retire the 2019 Mac Pro and replace that actually with a new Windows build. I decided that if we were going to do that, we were going to build the fastest, absolute best machine we could if it was going to run Windows. Understand that this is my first foray back into Windows after 25 years. It's been a long time. I should probably do a whole video on the drama that surrounded that, but in any case, I ended up building an AMD Threadripper machine that ended up costing about $20,000. It's got 128 gigs of RAM in it, a massive assortment of SSDs and NVMe. It's just this beast. It's a beast. And we actually named it Baby Driver. But anyway, so it's a beautiful machine, and I will fold in inserts into this video so all of you can see it. But it was definitely a labor of love. And here's the thing, what we ended up doing with it is making it our Unreal Engine machine. So Yeah, so we installed Unreal Engine on it. I actually have begun taking training on game development because I'm super interested in it and excited about learning how to actually do things within Unreal Engine and being able to speak intelligently to our game developers that work for us. And so it's a great machine, but it runs Windows. And so anyway, everything else across our entire ecosystem is all Apple. Here's the other weird thing. Okay, I'm gonna be real with all of you. I recently bought, okay, this is probably gonna shock you too. I recently bought a Fold. Yeah, I bought a Galaxy Fold. I'm sick of the same form factor from Apple every year. Don't get me wrong, obviously I still have love for Apple and the walled garden, but yeah, I went all in on the Samsung ecosystem. I even bought an S10 Ultra. It's crazy. I don't know what it is, but actually I lied. I do know what it is. I have this attraction to different things and new things. I'm definitely, if you ever read Crossing the Chasm by, I think it's Jeffrey Moore. Anyway, I'm definitely not a laggard. I'm a bleeding edge person. I'm an early adopter. I love playing with new technology, and I just feel like we live in such an exciting time right now. I didn't want to continue to be beholden to Apple and what they feel I should have, which is safe for them. And so I've really just become obsessed with my foldable phone. I know my friends and colleagues hate the green bubbles. However, I just recently discovered an app called Blue Bubbles where you can install the Blue Bubbles server on your Mac, and it basically proxies your messages through your Mac, allowing you to have Blue Bubbles and chat with people. So they're none the wiser that I've switched to Android. Anyway, so that's what's been going on. I know, a total shocker on the tech side because I'm such a big Apple fangirl, but I don't know. Maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for something different. So that's the updates on Night Studios, the slate for 2025, what has sort of been pulling me away from this channel and being able to produce new videos. But again, I want to reinforce my dedication to all of you and the community we're building here. We actually even are beginning to work with one of our colorists from this channel who's been a longtime subscriber and supporter of this channel. I want to give a shout out to Ollie. We will be working with him at Night Studios, so definitely reach out, introduce yourselves. Would love to continue to get to know all of you in the comments, because who knows, you know, we're always looking for new talent, people that can come in and do some work on some projects with us at the studios. So the other thing that we began doing this year, which is new, is optioning scripts. So as a studio, we do get a large number of unsolicited script submissions from writers from around the world, and we've begun reading them and looking at them. And so we have begun optioning scripts. And I do want to also preface that with the fact that we may not stop there. We may add additional films to our slate or series to our slate, but right now it's 4 titles. But we have begun optioning scripts from writers. So that's an exciting new direction for us, and not relying just on Mel and I for our internal writing room and Jamie Nash, but also looking for talent outside the studio and stories outside the studio that we can option. So super excited about that. So what's coming? What's ahead? I didn't want this video to be too long. Again, it was just me sort of reconnecting with all of you to let you know where we've been at and why, and that we are resuming our regular weekly uploads. We're gonna try and stick to the Sunday cadence that I wanted to establish before. So I'll probably release this video today, and then we will have another video coming out on Sunday to sort of resume that weekly cadence. But I am going to be making time to come back to YouTube. I'm not gonna lie and say that things are settling down. Things are actually getting more and more busy. Like I said, we're in the middle of selling one of our companies. We have pre-production starting on all of this stuff. We're in the middle of tense negotiations with different attorneys. So there's just a lot going on, but I promise you it is on my task list to try and make sure that every week we spend time on cutting a video. As a matter of fact, the video that will be released this Sunday is a DaVinci Resolve video. So it is sort of going back to the grassroots and pedigree of this channel of color grading, which is going to be on Shadow Unit. So we are moving on to the next city for the filming of our feature film that we're working on. So we're going to be wrapping that up and then going into post-production on that, as well as editing and color grading Shadow Unit. That will continue to be churning out new content for this channel as I try and edit and color grade with the screen recording and camera turned on, so I can also help all of you and bring you along in that journey. So that's it. After this next video of color grading and editing within DaVinci Resolve for this coming Sunday's release, I will be filming a new video to do a new 2025 desk tour and office tour. I want you all to see all of the new equipment that we've brought in. I want to also give you a tour of the new rack, custom-made rack that we just put into the color suite. So a lot of exciting stuff has been happening. There hasn't been really too many changes on my technology stack regarding my color grading system. That's a lie. I forgot that I actually ended up trading my Mac Studio. It was the M1 Ultra fully loaded. I traded that into the Apple Store and ended up switching to a Mac Mini. I know that sounds crazy, but my Mac Mini, the fully loaded Mac Mini Pro that I traded it in for, is actually faster than the M1 Ultra Mac Studio. I'm so in love with this machine. I can't wait to show it to all of you. So yeah, so that's pretty much the only change though in the technology stack. So yeah, like, subscribe. If this video resonated with you, if you liked any portion of it, let's continue the conversation in the comments. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other.